Coming to you live. Coming to you live from the Rinks and Hauppauge. You're listening to the Suffolk County High School Hockey League on LI Sports Network. Coming to you live from the Rinks and Hauppauge. You're listening to the Suffolk County High School Hockey League on LI Sports Network. Ryan Brannigan joined alongside Wally Mitchell. We've taken you through this developmental matchup between East Islip and Sachem. Apologies for the interruption earlier. Things have been squared off, and we're set for action here between East Islip and Sachem. And despite their records, Sachem a perfect 10-0, East Islip 2-7. The last time these two teams played, it was an absolute thriller. Barn burner, if you will, 8-7. Sachem getting the one-goal victory over East Islip in regulation. Jackson Zub, a night for him to remember. I'm sure he doesn't forget it. That wasn't that long ago. And the fact he had 5 goals, 1 assist, 6 points for Zub, as he was zoobing all over the ice that night. Jesse Atkins for Sachem had a 3-point night as well. 2 goals, 1 assist for Atkins. On the other side, Patrick Penny had a hat trick for EI. And their leading scorer this season, Connor Ivers, he had himself quite the game as well, as Ivers had 2 goals and 2 assists. Early goings, first period. East Islip had the offensive zone face-off. As I mentioned, some of those players to look out for include Ivers and Patrick Penny, as well as James Penny on the EI side of things. Here's Sachem coming the other way, feet out in front and getting back in to make a nice play on the loose puck. Defensively was Penny. That was Penny of the James variety. Puck into the neutral zone. Atkins on it for Sachem. Head up. Sends a rink-wide pass off the boards. Picked up by Zub. Zub, nice move. Zub with Beltram at the net. Plays it back to the point for Atkins. Swing and a miss. Atkins in his skates. And Avery Walsh sends it up for Walton. Walton had 2 goals in that last meeting against Sachem. Centers one. It's taken away by Zub and flipped into neutral ice. Santino Amorata got the starting goal for Sachem in that game. The goaltender tonight is as the same. It's Santino Amorata. As for EI, same goaltending matchup as well as Declan Grieve gets the net. Here's Walton, top of the near circle. Patrick Penny in on the forecheck. Thrown across, it'll bank to the line, held in by Sepulveda. Coming out to challenge Sepulveda was 54 Kylie Russo. Puck set out of the zone by EI. Rodriguez to get it. A rink-wide pass connects with his defensive partner, Liam Ryan. However, a turnover. Here comes Walton. Walton weaving, shot it wide. And Patrick Penny to pick up along the near side. Sepulveda's shot fanned on. Sepulveda does a good job to fight back to the puck. Keeps it in the zone. Walton going to work on Rodriguez. Rodriguez, good defense. Gets it away. And now carried up ice by Daniel Henn. And to Russo. Thwarted at the red line. Liam Ryan. Back to Rodriguez. 12:25 left here in this opening period. No score just yet between EI and Sachem as Sepulveda flings it to his left winger. Deflected ahead to Irizarry. Irizarry centering pass in the skates of 3 Sachem players. Picking it up in behind is Atkins. Can't clear just yet. Backhanded toward goal. Amorata save. Irizarry spinning in the far corner. Puck in the slot area and Brace will usher it into the neutral zone where Schmalacher takes over. Hands back to James Penny. Penny into the zone. Penny on the backhand. Still on his forehand as he circles around. Past the stick of Schmalacher, who must retreat out of the zone to send the puck back in. EI off sides. And finally getting the memo and skating to neutral ice was Dennis Gedolgig. Back in with speed, Ivers. Ivers shot, blocker save made. Amorata on the first dangerous chance of the game. It's Amorata getting the best of Connor Ivers. Puck unable to be cleared. Sachem's unbeaten season got a real test last game as a turnover in front, shot wide by Cusack. And Atkins can't clear. Held in at the line by number 9 of EI, Luke Montori. Montori has it here. Sends one ahead for Ragusio. Now Ivers on the backhand. Comes middle. Ivers swept off his stick by Beltram. Spun one toward the front of the net. It was blocked. Avery Walsh pinching. Allows Ivers to get back on the puck. Ivers backhander toward the front of the net. Past the stick of Ragusio. To near turnover out in front. Initiated by Ivers. Steered out of harm's way by Sachem. And they clear. As we're just about 5 minutes gone in this first period. No score between Sachem and EI. Mason Lovergene will bank that to center. Now gains the zone, flipped it across, so an offsides, delayed. Zub will flip it cross corner. First on it for the Chiefs is Caleb Hay. And Hay clears. Only as far as Rodriguez at the red line. Right back in the zone. Avery Walsh clearing it out for EI, going left to right. Hit the skate of Walsh as Sachem try to break back in. They will. Beltram centers. All the way across for Russo. Russo going to work on Hay. Kylie Russo centers one, no one home for Sachem. Picked up off the boards by Avery Walsh. Walsh sends it down ice. It'll be an icing against East Islip, stopping the clock with 9:04 left here in period number 1. As I alluded to prior, Sachem has had quite a few close calls en route to their undefeated 10-0 season thus far. Last week, 5-4 against Northport Huntington, the second-place team. They also beat West Islip by that same score of 5-4 back on week 2, September 29th. Or game 2, I should say. Fossa. Shot blocked by Hay. Nearly picked up in the high slot by Hen. Russo has it back, throws it toward the net, hoping for Collins. Hen shot it wide. It's in behind. Camden Collins going to work for it. Back out to the line, held in by Fossa, right back down low, past the stick of Collins. Hen with the stick lift. Penny, and now it's shot wide. Taken by Atkins. Atkins, another shot toward the front of the net, blocked. And now Long settles in neutral ice. Over the blue line, it's Penny. Patrick Penny lost control, and Atkins will make his way up the left wing boards. Over the red line, over the blue line, Atkins. Atkins 1v5. Lost control, rescued by Walton, who skates to center. Taken by Irizarry. And now Patrick Penny, a wrist shot. Glove save made on Murata. Sachem clear the zone by virtue of Bustamante. However, right back in Irizarry. Far board, centers. Penny, one-time shot wide. Patrick Penny got a lot on that one. Just missed it wide. To the line, not out, held in by James Penny. Loose puck available. Carried in for the moment by Sachem, now who are making a change. Here's Schmolacher. Schmolacher dangles, Schmolacher shoots! Save made by Amarata. On the great move by Schmolacher. James Penny weaving his way through neutral ice. Penny trying to get around the defense. Good poke by Rodriguez. Puck ends up in behind Amarata. Liam Ryan avoiding one incoming EI forechecker. Gets it to the line. Held in for the moment by James Penny. Now skated to the red line and dumped in by Mason Lovergy. Jackson Zub. Zub in his second year on the developmental squad. Takes it away. Back to the point. Rodriguez shot. Traffic save. Rebound. Wouldn't go. Greaves getting a piece. Sachem pressing. In behind. Now back up to the point. Rodriguez just keeping it in. Shifting it down low. James Penny can't clear, held in by Liam Ryan, but now Penny skates out with speed. James Penny unable to get around Rodriguez. Patrick Rodriguez with a big defensive play. Taken away and neutralized by Beltram. Beltram with Zub stretching out the leg, but he couldn't stretch it far enough. So we get an offsides. 5:26 left here in the first period. No score between Sachem and East Islip. Live from the rinks in Ophog, Ryan Brannigan, Wally Mitchell on the cam. Of the Sachem's 10 wins, 6 of them have come by 1 goal. So, getting it done in the clutch, Sachem. You could say reminiscent of the Chiefs a season ago. It's that clearing attempt off the skate of Hen. Hen tracking back to it, shot it off the side of the net. He'll pick it up on the backhand. Centers went out in front. Fanned on for the moment. Still loose and available. Rossi. Or rather, Russo. Now Atkins, a wrist shot. They score! Atkins might have been tipped out in front. Sachem take the 1-0 lead. And let's have another look. It was Hen out in front, or Collins, I should say. It was Collins out in front. Atkins settles on the backhand. Watch him seamlessly go to the forehand. 2 Chiefs go by him. Does it get tipped? I think it might have. So 1-0 for the silver and gold. Incoming long shot. Save Amarada, rebound, kicks in behind. Officially, it'll go down as a goal for Atkins. Kylie Russo picking up the assist. It's Atkins' 10th of the season and Russo's first point of the year. Congratulations, Kylie Russo. She has it here on the right wing boards. Banks went ahead for Hen. Hen turns it over, taken back by Long. So they say the puck does not deflect off of Collins in front. Out in front, through the crease. And steered out of harm's way all the way down ice to be an icing against Sachem. A 1-0 for the silver and gold. Offensive zone faceoff, though, and Connor Ivers, the leading scorer for East Islip, is out there. As he ranks in the grand scheme of the developmental level in terms of statistics, 4th most points in the division. Behind Sachem's Mason Levergine and Jackson Zub, it's Northport Huntington's Giovanni DeMarco in front with 29. Here's Sepulveda. Nice pass to Ivers. Ivers fakes. Ivers can't get through them all. And it ends up wide to the right of Amarada. Battle ensuing in behind the net. Ragusio digs it free. Here's Schmalacher. Schmalacher, wrist shot, just wide. The point was wide open there for Ryan Schmalacher. Liam Ryan backhands around. Amarada picks up his stick. Sachem trying to clear. They finally can. And helping to do so, Nicholas Ayan. Here's Ivers. To the right is forehand. Sent out in front all the way through to Irizarry. 2:40 left first period. Ivers in behind. Backhands again out in front. And flicked just wide on the backhand. Once again pushed out in front. Amarada is there, aggressively so, cutting down the angle. Montori had the last chance out in front. EI pressing, looking for goal, the equalizing goal. Sachem having great difficulty clearing the zone at the moment. Montori in behind, finds Sepulveda. Wrist shot, left pad save made by Amarada. Brace, backhands, and it is held in by Sepulveda. Brace on the backhand, can he clear? Sends it ahead and banked into the neutral ice area by Bustamante, but Sachem can't clear, or can't change, I should say, as Ivers walks back in. Ivers shot off the side of the net. Ryan fans on the clearing attempt. Back with it, Rodriguez. Irizarry, Sepulveda. And that's not out of the zone. Pardon me, that's Schmalocker. Now, fresh off the bench, Beltram is in. Beltram scores! Against the flow of play. Dominance from EI. They can't get a goal. And off the bench and into the back of the net, Beltram. 2-0 Sachem. So not exactly prescriptive success there for Sachem. Get hemmed in your own zone, nearly give up a goal, but they'll take it. Beltram looking for more. Save made by Grieve. That's a tough spot to put your goaltender in as he's watching from afar. Next thing you know, he's got a top player for Sachem coming down on him on a breakaway. Fuss off the draw win in the O-zone for the silver and gold. Goes wide. Avery Walsh with a big hit. Receiving said hit was Mason Lovergene. He's up though. He's got the puck and he scores! So we had off the bench in the back of the net, off the ice and into the back of the net for Mason Lovergene. 3-0 Sachem. There he is in the boards area, the far boards, gets up, back into the play, and a wrister into the back of the net. And so it's been an evenly played game in this latter half of the first period has swayed greatly in Sachem's favor as they take the commanding 3-0 lead. Goal for Beltram was his 5th. The goal for Lovergene is his 18th. Which, if I'm not mistaken, is potentially the most in the developmental division. Or second most, I should say, right there behind Giovanni DeMarco of Northport Huntington with 19. Ahead to Zub. Zub with Lovergene. Zub, wrist shot, scores! When it rains, it pours. Jackson Zub, 4-0. This puck's gonna deflect on its way in and ends up being a knuckleball that fits just under the bar and over the pad. There it is, wobbler. Long range, Jackson Zub. And Sachem have got 4. Here's Long, a wrist shot from top of the circle, steered into the corner by Amarada. Final 15 of the period. Zub from Beltram and Lovergene. After Lovergene scores from Zub. Zub already with 3 points tonight. Looking for more, another long wrister wide of Grieve. And that is how we end period number 1. Sachem with 4 goals in under 5 minutes to close out the frame. They lead 4-0 right here and only on the LI Sports Network. Second period, not there yet. Second period on its way in just a moment. We'll be right back. As you're listening to the Suffolk County High School Hockey League on LI Sports Network. Welcome back here to the rinks in Oppog. 4-0 Sachem, as I mentioned, 4 goals in under 5 minutes, the last 5 minutes of that period. It all started with an Atkins goal. Kylie Russo with the assist, her first point of the season. And then Clark Beltram joined in on the action, made it 2-0. A goal scored with just 1:24 left in the frame was against the flow of play as EI nearly made it 1-1. A couple of great stops from Amarada. So here's Avery Walsh, Hen, forechecking on back to Liam Ryan in the defensive end. Near turnover taken by Walton. Walton fighting through Ryan, tries to center Ivers. Ivers back out in front and ends up wide side of the net. Russo trying to spring forward. Hen, good defensive play by Walsh to prevent that from happening. And now James Penny works it back into his own end, sends across to Ivers. Ivers try to back into the neutral zone, blocked by a member of the silver and gold. Now Ryan with it, keeps in over the stick of Ivers, fluttering puck. Russo is there. Russo trying to fight through Montori, and now taken by Ivers with speed into the zone. Ivers swiping at Rodriguez. Rodriguez staying with him, forced him to the outside, and the long-range shot into the chest of Tyler Amarada. The Sachem scoring 3 goals in 84 seconds, or 3 goals in a minute in 24, or even less than that because the final goal was scored with 27 seconds left. So it really broke through. Shot right point blocked. Atkins, as I mentioned, got the party started. Gains control, makes his way through the neutral zone. Far circle wrist shot is in the equipment of goaltender Declan Grieve. Stopping the clock with 13:03 left here in the second. And 8-7 was the score the last time these two teams played each other. So East Islip not out of it. Long shot from the far point of Atkins, knocked down by Grieve. EI clear. Atkins across to Fussa. Fussa around Cusack and around Irizarry. Takes the shot. Right pad save made by Grieve. Well placed shot there by Fussa. And that's off a member of the bench of Sachem, and thus the stoppage. Good time to remind you to check us out on social media at LI Sports Network. Great stuff on there. Last night's best. Photos provided from our various photographers, mostly including Aztec photos on there in the games he's attending throughout the island. At LI Sports Network. And make sure you're subscribed here to the YouTube channel. That way you're notified every time your favorite team is in action. Here's Zub. Lost the handle. Penny trying to plow his way into the zone. Zub gets knocked down by James Penny. Here's Beltram. Wrister blocker save made by Grieve. And now penalty will be called. The game's first penalty. It'll go against EI, so Sachem coming to the power play. It's James Penny for interference. Sachem's first time with the man advantage on the year. They are averaging .2 power play goals per game. So every 5th game, they'll get a power play marker. Will this be one of those games? Increase that number as that puck deflects up and out of play. New feature I'm seeing here to the stats on the matchup section of the Suffolk County SCHSHL.org website lists the power play percentage and penalty kill percentage, but I don't believe those numbers are entirely accurate. Just unveiling those. They score right off the draw. Sachem strike. A power play goal scored by, I believe it was Atkins. Let's take another look. Comes right off the draw. Up for grabs, the winger pinching in and letting it fly. Tough play to make for the goaltender, Grieve. As it's 5-0 silver and gold. Chance now for EI. Blocker save made on Murata. The goal for Daniel Henn. Pardon me. Collins picking up the assist. As Henn scores his 4th of the season. And now EI just got to try to stop the bleeding here. James Penny trying to do just that. Walks in near side. Around the net of Amurata. Centers for Long, just out of his reach. Walton swings and misses. Russo backhands to center, just out of the reach of James Penny. Here comes Henn with speed. Henn, who was a force in that Northport-Huntington game, finally got on the board late. And that's just out of the reach of Atkins. Brace tumbles down hard as he entered the zone on the far left wing side. Fossa pokes it ahead, taken away by Walton. Incoming Walton, but unable to get back on side was Patrick Penny. So the frustrating night for EI continuing. Not for lack of opportunities. They've had the opportunities, just unable to cash in on one, and those little miscues like that offsides. Gee, if they could avoid getting frustrated. Brace to take the draw from Irizarry. One forward by Irizarry. Banked ahead by Rodriguez. Montori there as well. Intercepted. And backhanded forward by Ragusio. Here's Ivers. Staying with it, Ivers. Poked off his stick by Ryan, who sends it up ice. Sepulveda hustling hard after it. Won't need to because it's an icing against Sachem. 9:29 left, or a couple seconds on here. Left here in the second period. Henn from Collins, the only scoring in this period. And Sachem opened the game up with 5 unanswered. Looking for that answer, EI with the offensive zone faceoff. Irizarry to take it. Shot from Penny denied. It was James Penny with the chance. Irizarry to the point. Sepulveda wisely goes down the near wall and around. Centering feed from Penny, blocked. Penny back with it. And across off the stick of Montori and wide. Great opportunity. Point blank range from Montori, just missed. Back out in front. Montori fighting for it. Save. Rebound save. Amurata. Some of his best of the night. On a great effort here from Montori. As you're going to see, he lifts the stick of the defenseman to gain position right there. To generate that first shot. Battles hard back to the puck for the second. But great positioning in net for Amarada. As Sachem have a pair of excellent goaltenders between him and Skillman, who we saw the other night, and Amarada sprawling, kept it out somehow, I don't know. Fussa left it behind him. Walton trying to bank it to himself. Lovergene having none of it. Sends it right back up ice for Sachem. EI, it's no icing because Lovergene swung and missed at the loose puck. Handled in behind by Fussa. Throws it ahead to Zub. Pardon, that was Beltram throwing it ahead to Zub. Beltram back on it. Fights through Sepulveda. Puck now in the neutral zone for Jackson Zub. Gets around Long. Trying to go around Hay. On the backhand, Zub. Try to throw it out in front, blocked. Zub with it once more. Near corner, Zub. Beltram. He goes down to the ice hard. Zub. Little touch pass in the direction of Lovergene in front, held in by Atkins. Lovergene, wrister, scores! And Sachem have half a dozen. Over halfway through the second, 6-0. Mason Lovergene finds the loose puck in front and buries it past Declan Grieve. Two goals and an assist now in the game for Lovergene. And that goal puts him even with Giovanni DeMarco, tied for the lead in the DVL. Puck available, backhanded up ice by Avery Walsh. Off the boards into neutral ice. Rodriguez just out of the reach of Kylie Russo. And now Avery Walsh will pick it up. Stumbling a bit. Able to shift it around to Irizarry. Cusack now on the loose puck. Cusack content to just flip to neutral ice. Put enough touch on it for no icing. Rodriguez in around. Schmalacher can't keep. Now Henn with Walsh. Henn finds Collins. Swept it just wide. Rodriguez holds in near point. Cusack settles it down. Takes a hit from Russo in the neutral zone. Well, I don't see that very often. It's Henn. Gonna take a hit from Avery Walsh. The girls getting physical out there in the DVL tonight. Avery Walsh back with it. And Rodriguez just unable to hold in on the backhand. Taps it up ice where it's taken away by Godoldig. Henn, can he beat out the icing? He can. Henn, sharp angle. She'll shield it off by Grieve. Henn back with it. Takes it away. Jams it. Far post. Denied by Grieve. And taken away by EI. Irizarry with room to skate. Makes his way up the left wing side. Now cuts middle. Plays it across. Drawing himself offside in the process. Cusack. Not sure if he really knew what to do with it there. Had it at the line. His team was offside. Couldn't go forward with it. Had a Sachem player behind him. Couldn't go back with it. Just kind of hung out for a sec. It's offside nonetheless on EI. 5:40 left here in the middle period. Montori going forward with it. Eventually lost control and sent ahead by Atkins. EI go D to D. Caleb Hay. It's an EI team with a lot of turnover from last season. A very successful season a year ago, with many players making a jump 1 to 2 levels ahead, whether that be to the freshman or JV. as their system is continuing to churn out excellent hockey players at all levels, and EI competitive at all levels, and eventually you gotta replenish the well, and I think that's a bit of the reason why they find themselves 2-7 as opposed to their record a year ago. Not too many returning players, so you get younger. Also, a number of close losses this season. A 5-3 loss to KPC, 4-3 to Longwood. Again, I mentioned the 8-7 game against Sachem earlier this year. A chance out in front, no dice. Much different result here tonight. Sachem up big here in the second. Avery Walsh. Turned over. Here comes Sachem. Lovergene. Backdoor, just missed. What a chance for Beltram on a beautiful setup from Lovergene. That one deflected by Zub just wide. Back out in front. Beltram to Zub. Backhand shot blocked by Penny. Lovergene fighting his way down the left wing boards. Thrown out in front, getting knocked into the goaltender Beltram. And now Zub scores. 7-0 Sachem. Jackson Zub with his second tonight. 4th point of the game for Zub. The leading point scorer coming into the contest. Now up to 28 on the year. Mason Lovergene, I believe, will get an assist on this goal. And for Lovergene, it'll be his 4th point of the game. He does, in fact, officially get that assist. So 4-point night for Lovergene. His point total climbs to 26. Looking for more. Out in front. They score. It's Beltram on the feed out in front. And Sachem pouring it on here against EI. It is 8-0. EI will switch up the defense. James Penny coming out with his partner Schmalacher. Beltram from Zub. Zub now with a full house of points. 2 goals, 3 assists. Is that shot? Good save made by Grieve with the right pad. As Sachem with all the momentum. Backdoor score! It's Atkins. And Sachem have got 9. Second of the game for Jesse Atkins, his 3rd point. And an EI team who played well through the majority of that first period, finding themselves in a place I don't think they could have possibly foreseen, down by 9. They nearly tied it at 1. Looked like it was going to be another competitive game, and it just got away from them. And the route is on. Avery Walsh circling in behind her net, picking up speed, leaking out the far side. Held in at the line by Atkins. Bustamante pushed down from behind by Ragusio. Atkins can't hold in on the far point. Last goal scored by Daniel Henn, and Kylie Russo with her 2nd assist of the game and 2nd point of the season. As Daniel Henn with a point game tonight. 2 goals for Hen. Minute 54 and counting left here in the second period. Connor Ivers trying to get some momentum for EI, and none of it is afforded. Tyler Amorata. Pardon, Santino Amorata. Where are I getting Tyler from? Tino Amorata. With the big glove save on Connor Ivers. And came into tonight with the 4th most points of any player in the DVL. Held off the score sheet to this point. Sepulveda. Long wrist shot blocked by Ryan. And he'll bank to center. Walton. Trying to dissect his way through the far side of the ice. Can't gain the zone. Good pass across to Penny. Patrick Penny. Sent back into the neutral zone by some good defensive Rodriguez. Sepulveda goes down. Penny again thwarted by Rodriguez, who has been a force on right defense for Sachem in this one, and really throughout the season. Walton holds in along the near boards. Walton, Sepulveda, Penny. It's Patrick Penny. Puck does escape the zone. Patrick Penny back with it. Try to flip to himself, but right there to receive Liam Ryan. And he clears it, splitting the EI defense. Sepulveda starts it right back in. On the backhand. Pushed around. Here's Bustamante. And that will conclude the second. 5 more for Sachem in the second period as they go up big, 9-0 on EI at the end of 2. Third period, it's on its way. You're listening to the Suffolk County High School Hockey League on LI Sports Network. Welcome back. Third period on its way. Sachem with a commanding 9-0 lead against their foes in EI. EI not throwing in the towel. Take a shot toward Amarado, who makes the stop. And he's been good. It'll get potentially lost in this. You're just scoreboard watching. Oh, must have been Sachem dominating at every facet. No, Amarado's been excellent in keeping EI off the board to this point in the game. Beltram on it. Lovergene and Zub, they, with their point totals coming into the contest, have lived up to the seasons they've had. Both key contributors for Sachem tonight. 5 points for Zub, 4 points for Lovergene. As Beltram offside. Great game for Clark Beltram as well, with 3 points, 2 goals, and an assist. Kylie Russo getting her first assist of the season. She has 2 assists. Only showing 1. Not sure why. Credited with 2 on the score sheet, most recently to the second goal of the game for Hen. As I'm stopping the clock, but we do have a running clock, so get it synced back up. Schmalacher, he's had a couple of great chances. Stopped by Amarada tonight. A nice weave from Rodriguez, but he's caught from behind. Comes to Ryan. Blocker save made. Grieve. Back out in front. Russo looking for goal number 1 of the season. Not going to find it there, and it just hops the skip. The stick of Rodriguez and out of the zone. Sachem touch up. Sepulveda just by the stick of Gedoldig. Rodriguez again showing off the skating. Long shot, tips in. Goal scored by Patrick Rodriguez. His second of the season. 10-0 Sachem. Sachem win the draw, Brace doing so. Bustamante had it knocked away by James Penny, and now Walton trying to get EI on the board. Steered into the corner by Amarada. EI can't hold in. Now Penny tracks back to it, breaks up the rush up ice from Sachem. Patrick Penny out there with brother James. Patrick shoots, blocked by Atkins, comes to Walton, drags, shot also blocked by Atkins. Fussa around James Penny, Walton checking Fussa from behind, and eventually the Chiefs do gain control. Not out of the zone though, as Atkins fires it wide. Hay and Ian into the corner. Shot just wide. Bustamante. Around here, Zub. Zub, nice little step, puts it out. Bustamante. Shot. Save made by Grieve. He didn't know where the rebound was. Thought it was underneath him. So did I. It wasn't. Zub holds in. Love the unselfish play there of Jackson Zub. Trying to set up Bustamante and or Ian. Zub Caleb Hay cuts off his send around, held in at the line by Fussa, but now the puck taken out by Patrick Penny, taken away though by assistant captain Atkins. Walton back in for EI on the backhand. Skips on for Amarato, makes a save. Try to keep things going. Patrick Penny, though, nearly made Amarato pay. And then Lovergene collides with an EI player. The EI player honestly initiated the contact, skating into Lovergene, who almost looked like he acted in self-defense. Gonna wish all the best to the player on the ice. Of course, it does appear to be Avery Walsh, so we wish her the best. And we'll step aside. Time has stopped at 9:17. It was a bang-bang play. Nothing malicious on the part of Zub or Lovergene. We'll step aside right here on LI Sports Network. So you heard the stick tapping and applause from the entire arena. Walsh on her skates and onto the EI bench. A great sight indeed, and Walsh showing off the toughness, as that was a big hit that she didn't have time to brace herself for either. Those tend to be the worst ones. Again, hope she's all right. Caleb Hay lost it to Russo. Sepulveda ahead to Ivers. Ivers with a nice move at the line. Ivers lost the handle. Ivers trying to get back on it. Goes wide. In behind Montori. Now Hen with it. Lost it to Ivers, who swings it down the near wall. Just gets by Caleb Hay, and Sepulveda settles back on it. Russo battling Ragusio. Here is Hen. Hen trying to get it to Liam Ryan. Connor Ivers bearing down on Ryan, takes it away. Wrist shot blocked by the captain of this Sachem developmental team, number 57, Cam Collins. Collins with an assist tonight, bringing his point total up to 12 on the season. 7 goals, 5 assists for Collins. Sachem varsity, I believe, in action later tonight. As I double check the schedule, got West Islip, Smithtown freshman Red going on the North Rink right now. A game being called by Kevin Broderick. And yes, Sachem Middle Country is the middle game over on the North Rink tonight, as the Sachem varsity team look to continue to rise the standings as one of the top teams. Fellow top team in the varsity division is EI, and they're up against St. Anthony in what should be a good game between those two sides. EI coming off a tough 6-2 loss to Smithtown Hauppauge, game in which they led 2-1. Allowed 5 unanswered. Try to get an answer, EI here in the DVL, and a save made by Amarada on James Penny, and things getting physical in behind the Sachem net. Patrick Penny shoved down to the ice. That'll be a penalty. 2 EI players run into each other. It's chaos out there on the rink. Brace is holding back. That's Fussa. And Fussa hops over the boards of the penalty box and will sit for 2. In addition to the prior Sachem penalty, a roughing penalty on Hen. Ivers, as EI looked to get on the board, bounced towards Amarado, who made the save. And Sachem 10-0, they lead 10-0 here tonight. That being said, they just have 1 shutout. Said the word. 1 shutout. It came against West Islip, 1-0. The score in that one. And it was a true 1-0 game, not a forfeit. Trying to break it. Save made, Amarada. Driving to the net, James Penny. Walton. Unable to get control. Beltram to the line. Not out. Good keep by Montori. Another try for Sachem to clear. Doesn't work. Out in front. Save made. Rebound. Jumping on the loose puck was Amarada. And again, they go at it after the whistle. Sticking up for their goaltender this time, though, or Sachem. And you'll see that at any level of hockey, no matter how big or small the kids may be, the golden rule, you don't touch the goalie. It was Skillman who got the win in that 1-0 game against Longwood. So Amarada is looking for his first blank sheet of the season. We're back to even strength. EI's attempts to get on the board thwarted by the Sachem netminder, Santino Amarada. Zub with Lovergene and Russo as they get it across to Atkins. Atkins down low to Russo. Russo tried a one-time in front to Lovergene, missed it. Zub flips it over the net. Russo chasing after it. Arizari there. Russo spun it to the front of the net. Nobody home for Sachem. And now it flips over the stick of Atkins and out of the zone. Avery Walsh back out on the ice. A great sight indeed after taking that big hit earlier in the period. Remained on the ice for a little bit. She got up under her own power, skated off to the bench, and now she's back out on the ice. You'll love to see it. Zub flips in. Irizarry. Meandering through neutral ice. Drops to Cusack. Shot toward the net. Fussa blocking along with Atkins. Both got a piece. Atkins skates it out. Speed through the neutral zone. Cross ice feed to Bustamante, and they're going to call Bustamante offsides. It must have been very close. He just goes over the line ahead of the puck. We approach final 2 minutes of the hockey game. EI trying to get just one. Shot off the side of the net. Taken by Montori. Sepulveda. Wrist shot. Blocker save made. Amarada. Hey. Delayed penalty. going to go against Sachem. EI back to the power play to finish this one out. Ian, Rodriguez, Liam Ryan, and Bustamante, the penalty killing group. Long, Hay, James Penny, who has it here amongst the power play group for EI. And they can't get a shot through to Amarada. Hay keeps in, banks it down for Montori. Montori across, nobody there. Bustamante lost it. Shot wide by Godoldig. And Godoldig laying out a big hit. All the way down, no icing, final 30 seconds of the game. Rodriguez aggressive on the forecheck, shorthanded. James Penny makes his way up ice. Penny around Ryan. Penny to the backhand. Good defensive play made by Collins. Liam Ryan trying to clear. And now Collins will take it the rest of the way. Sachem's coach wants a call there, but at the final seconds of the third period, I think the official's just content to let the time run out, which it does. Shutout for Santino Amarada as Sachem win big against EI, improve to 11-0 on the year with a 10-0 smattering of East Islip. A tough game, one to take some good parts of away if you're East Islip. You did generate a lot of chances, especially back in that first, but couldn't quite follow it up once Sachem established the lead. 10-0 your final. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Suffolk County High School Hockey League here on LI Sports Network. On behalf of our cameraman, Wally Mitchell, I'm Ryan Brannigan. Until next time, as always, folks, have a good night.